Chair of the Congressional Inaugural Committee, Republican Senator Roy Blunt, says he expects Biden to be sworn in on January the 20th, but he stopped short of recognising Trump lost the election. Well, this comes as the president questioned whether the Supreme Court would hear any of his legal challenges to the result. Meanwhile, Wisconsin's two largest counties have finalised a recount of votes, increasing President-elect Joe Biden's lead over Donald Trump by a few hundred votes. Biden won the state by more than 20,000 votes. County officials say the recount that cost the Trump campaign $3 million found no instances of fraud from voters or election officials. A lawsuit from Donald Trump's campaign prompted the recount, alleging widespread electoral fraud. Well, Mike Hanna is live from Washington, D.C. And, Mike, I understand in the last few minutes that we've heard that President-elect Joe Biden has twisted his ankle. Tell us a bit about that.
Indeed, yes. Well, the pool with the president-elect report that he was playing with his dog when he tripped and strained his ankle. Out of abundance of caution, his administration says he's been taken to an orthopedic surgeon at a nearby hospital. He's being examined at the moment, but all indications are not a serious injury. Once again, the dangers of playing with dogs in your garden. President Trump himself, well, he has been golfing for the past 3 days, in between staying at Camp David. He gave his first formal interview in the course of the day with his favourite news channel, or once was favourite news channel. 45 minutes the interview lasted, and basically President Trump continued to spread misinformation, falsehoods, put it bluntly, lies about ongoing election fraud, election officials across the country having found no case of wholesale fraud. Trump campaign attempts to combat this in court, being rejected by court after court. More than 30 at this particular time have refuted judgments against President Trump's attempts to claim fraud in the election. A recount in Wisconsin, well, the Trump campaign paid $3 million for that. The net result, Joe Biden gained some 84 votes. So certainly President Trump's attempts to contest fraud going absolutely nowhere, and Trump himself admitting that it would be very difficult to get it to the Supreme Court, indicating some way that there is judicial bias against him. But basically, the tenor of the judgments that has been given up to date would give very little encouragement to the Supreme Court to take up a case where the lower courts have been so strong in refuting the claims by the Trump campaign and other Republican organizations.
And, Mike, as Americans travel home from the Thanksgiving holiday, we're getting some quite severe warnings from the top infectious disease expert, Anthony Fauci.
Very much so. Well, health officials had been asking Americans to limit their travels over this holiday week, but it was largely ignored. Some 6.7 million Americans travelled in the week leading up to Thanksgiving Day last Thursday. There's been an ongoing spike in cases, and Dr. Anthony Fauci, the country's leading virologist, says that what is happening now, the real danger, is that there's going to be another surge within a surge that is already taking place. He points out that it takes 10 days to 2 weeks for symptoms to begin to develop, and so you're not going to get a full picture of what exactly happened from this travel until a period of a week to 2 weeks. But this is what Dr. Fauci had to say.
So what we ask people to do is to at least stop for a moment and do what I call a risk-benefit assessment of what you want to do in the holiday, what you want to do for the seasons where you bring people in your home. If you have a person who's elderly, who has an underlying condition that makes them more susceptible to the serious consequences of infection, do you really want to have that gathering, or should you say, I know it hurts not to do it because this is such a beautiful traditional season, but, you know, hang in there with us because there will be future times when you could do it.
Well, the figures are indeed horrendous. In this month alone, with still 1 day to go, there have been 4 million confirmed cases of coronavirus across the country. Now, that is double the number that was recorded in October, which in itself was a record. So more than 170,000 new cases being reported each day, and great concern, as we heard there from Dr. Fauci, particularly with the new set of holidays coming up in the next few weeks.